Welcome back to Scenes from the Screen, where we talk about all types of films and TV. Obscure, forgotten, prestigious, rotten, from must-see to, are you kidding me? Big screen and small, we cover it all. Who knows? You might discover a new gem or be reintroduced to an old favorite. My name is Sean, and I'll be your host. Well, this week is going to be similar to last week. Holly is back again, of course.
I'm back again.
You're back again, like tag team. So this week we are going to flip it a little bit. Last week we did a movie and then a TV series, which was so based on the same source material. This week, though, we're going to start with the TV show, and I selected the movie, but I didn't tell you why.
No, you didn't tell me why, and I'm dying to know.
I know you are. So we're going to start off with Widow's Bay. Now, Widow's Bay is on Apple Plus. It is a series listed as a horror comedy. It is, I think, way more horror than comedy. But there are comedic elements about it.
There were some funny humor moments.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But I think, especially as the first season goes on, it really leans more into horror.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
It stars Matthew Rhys as Tom Loftus. He is the mayor of a island town in New England that the residents believe is cursed. He wants to turn it into the next Martha's Vineyard, so he really wants to get tourism in there. The problem is that the residents say that if he does that, the island wakes up and kind of rejects strangers.
I think they were warning him against it because the more people on the island, the more people can get hurt.
True.
Or killed.
Right. And I don't know if they made that abundantly clear in the first episode, because the first episode, and I know we watched it, and we will tell you if there's going to be spoilers, but we're going to try not to spoil anything because literally the first season just ended 2 weeks ago.
Right. So I'm going to try not to ruin it.
Right. For anyone. Yeah. Because she'll ruin it before I do. And just to let everybody know, we do have Hannah with us, our little pity boxer mix, and she's snoring right now from her day out in the sun. She may perk up a little bit, so if you hear anything, we'll let you know.
In the background.
Right, because she may have something to add. She watched it with us.
She does enjoy our TV shows.
She does. So so the first episode, my first thought was Matthew Rhys was miscast.
I felt exactly the same way. I don't know if it's because of the things I've seen him in the past, or he just didn't seem comfortable in that part.
I agree. I think you're right. That hit the nail on the head. He did not seem comfortable with it.
And the humor he couldn't pull off in the first episode.
Whatever they required him to do, he did not. And I think it was almost they didn't know where the character was, which is odd because if you created the show, and it's created by a former Parks and Rec writer, Katie Dippold, who you may remember her. She was actually in the show. Remember the woman who, when they had the cat adoption outside, and she actually donated the cats? Yeah, that was one of her appearances on there. But a show we love. Parks and Rec is one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Definitely a worth watching comedy.
Right. So I know she knows what she's doing with it, being a writer on that show.
Well, I think it might have been not so much him as it was the audience. Because I think as the show moved on, his flatness and his character, we got to know more. And I accepted him in that role better as I got to know him.
I completely agree. I mean, I did too. As the episodes went on, whatever reservations I had about him went away.
I agree.
And I think it's the flaw in the writing and the character in the first episode. Because
it wasn't a grabber first episode.
It was not, and two, I was really confused because and he's not from the island. He's not a native to the island, but he's lived there a long time, and it just seems like this kind of came out.
You don't know how long he's lived there. Well, as long as at least 15.
As long as his son has lived there, right? So he's been there a while. So it kind of, for him to kind of react to these curses like in the way that he did, I think was very misleading. And not that he should have jumped in right away. It was an awkward introduction.
It was. And as you watch the show, he should have been more aware because he knew things that he knew later, but then you realize he should have known that in the first episode, but he acted like he didn't.
Exactly.
So that I guess would be the writing then.
Yes, it would be. And again, you don't want to reveal everything right off the bat, but I think the character introduction was so awkward at that point. And that had me questioning, like, well, I know he's mayor, but how long has he been on this island? Like I said, that was the one big thing I had. The characters do get better, and they do change, and that's the way they should be.
Right. I agree.
And the one character, again, he's minor, but I love him in anything. He's always the star of any show. Stephen Root.
I was just going to say, Stephen Root was phenomenal. I wouldn't say he's minor. I'd say he's not lead, but he's second to lead.
Yes, correct.
His character definitely becomes more prominent as the series goes on.
It does.
But I loved him in this, and I agree. He was just phenomenal in Office Space, and then when he was the producer or something in that other show,
News Radio.
He's just very funny. He's always flat though. Like he's always the straight. Even when in Office Space where he was quirky, he was still not overtly trying to be funny.
No,
but he is.
He's very good at being the deadpan almost.
Yes,
and no matter what, I mean, you can have variations on that deadpan character, but he's really, really good at pulling that off.
I really was excited that he became more prominent as the series went on.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was interested in watching it because he was in an earlier film we reviewed, Mike and Nick and Alice.
Oh yes,
so he minor. He was kind of a cameo in that, but he was in it. But yeah, so I mean, overall, my feeling about the first season was it's definitely not groundbreaking television.
No, it's not a series. I'm glad I watched it, and I will watch if it comes back. I will watch the second season.
It's been renewed, so
I will keep watching it, and I'll be happy to watch it. But I'm not going to be like, oh my goodness, like some shows we watched, we're like, okay, I can't get enough of this. I have to keep watching. It's not going to be that for me, but I think it's entertaining enough.
And I think it was fun to binge watch it like we did because thanks to whatever Prime deals or now I don't even know if it was Prime, it might have just been the carriers themselves, but getting Apple back because we've had Apple before for Severance, which is a great show. That is groundbreaking television.
I think there's a lot more Apple TV I'd like to watch that I just didn't have time to yet.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, we'll hold on to it we have it for a while. But yeah, so like I said, this did get better as it went along. I felt, like I said, it wasn't groundbreaking, but I wouldn't say don't watch it. Like you said, it was enjoyable.
It was entertaining. Yeah.
Yes.
And I did like Matthew Reese, and I liked him in things. And there's something very, he's just like the guy next door, but in a crazy, like there's something very endearing about him. So I did enjoy him in it. But there's someone else, I absolutely love in everything, and he popped up in this, and I didn't know he was going to be in it.
And that's Hamish Linklater.
Yes, I love him. There's something about him. He's funny when he's not even supposed to be. Like not funny, like ha ha ha, but like quirky. And the way he played his character, I thought was so well done. Especially in the one episode that we watched where he was different. He was with Matthew Reese, and I love the way their back and forth went. That scene with him and Matthew Reese. That was
the dialogue back and forth. I agree.
Really, and then you're like, oh, and he's such a shit. Like I just thought he was really good in that, and I was glad to see him in it a few times. That was nice.
Yeah, and he may pop up again. You never know.
You never know.
You're right. I mean, we really liked him in Midnight Mass.
What was he in before Midnight Mass?
I know he was in Legion on
FX. Like a TV show, wasn't he?
He's been, I think, New Adventures of Old Christine, maybe.
There's something I'm looking him up as we speak because there was some TV show he was in.
I mean, he's been in quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's been out. I mean,
which is good. I mean, because he definitely should work. He's very talented.
I don't remember him in The Life of Chuck.
I don't remember him in that either. We did watch that.
Yeah,
so I'll have to go back. Oh, I do remember him. He was one of the teachers, I believe.
It's worth watching anything that he's in. I'm going to be real honest with you. He's good to watch.
But I will say that the show is slightly predictable.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you look at what came before it and I've seen it compared to this. And my first thought was Twin Peaks. It's like a comedic variation on, it's a weird town full of quirky characters, things like that.
I think there's a lot of Stephen King type, Stephen-esque in it with the
locals,
the town being what's that area?
New England
town, and in the horror to it. So. But I think that it really kind of misses the mark a little bit with it. It's not, like you said, it's just not blowing my mind. Like there's nothing really that new about it. And it was the end of the first season was beyond extremely predictable. As soon as the idea came out that they needed that one person, I was thinking it was either between one or two people. And we had one of the two people.
It also reminded me of I know no one's going to remember this show. And it's called High Cliff Manor, and it was a comedy on CBS back in 1979. It lasted for 6 episodes. Of course, I watched it.
Yeah, nobody remembers that.
No, it was about a woman who, Charlotte Fabre, she inherits a mansion. It's almost like a Dark Shadows-ish type of thing, but it's a horror comedy. Ernie Hudson was in it from Ghostbusters. Winston Zeddemore.
That's interesting cast right there.
It was entertaining as far back as I can remember. Now, if I watched it again, I probably would think no. But
probably wouldn't hold the mustard.
It would no, not at all. No, and a lot of stuff doesn't. My concern with Widow's Bay is the eventual end game, because there's only so much you can do before it gets buried in mythology, which I'm worried that it's going to do, like the X-Files did, like Lost did, even Supernatural. That was supposed to be only 5 seasons, and of course they stretched that out. You can't have
that many seasons of Widow's Bay if you want to do it right. I can see it maybe going maybe 3, but anything more than that, it's going to be too campy.
I mean, if it was on Netflix, it would have been canceled already, because Netflix just cancels shows after one season. I don't care how good they are. Yeah. That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, I certainly hope that doesn't happen, but
even a second season. I mean, I don't necessarily need a second season of that. I don't feel like it ends a cliffhanger-ish ending, but not like a cliffhanger that you need answered for the story.
I agree. It doesn't leave you wanting, oh my God, what's going to happen? I mean, if you come out with something, I'll watch it
to see what they're going to do with it. But I don't think it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be up at night thinking about this character, which is a lot of really great TV shows I've done.
And again, like I said, it's enjoyable. I would definitely recommend watching it.
Yeah.
If you have time, it's not something you go, oh my God, you got to.
For Hamish and Stephen Root alone. I mean,
right. And Reese. And Kato Flynn, who plays Patricia. She's really good.
I really didn't. The first 1 or 2 episodes, her character annoyed the piss out of me. I'm like, she was supposed to be quirky, and I got that, and I was.
She was also kind of mean in a way,
but she was just like, I don't know. It was too stereotypical. I think it was too. I can't think of the word when you're doing too much of that quirkiness without any realism to it. But then, as again, like the Stephen Root's character, as her character developed, I got to like her a lot, and I really enjoyed the actress by the end of the show.
I did too, and like I said, that it was a pretty weak pilot overall.
It really was, and I like when you first said that we're going to watch this, and we watched the first episode. I was like, oh, I might be done with this, but it had that horror relation, and I like everything horror, so I'm like, okay, and I like everything New England. I mean, it's a fantastic place.
You do.
So yes, I do. So I can't do a New England accent, so don't try. So, but it definitely got better. So if you watch it, the first episode is not going to blow you away, but give it a minute.
Give it time. It's not like some shows where like, oh, it drags out. Well, maybe the second season, it doesn't hit the ground running, but it picks up speed pretty quickly.
I think by the second and towards the end of the second episode, I was kind of all in. I didn't.
That sounds about right.
I didn't have to watch, even if I was exhausted, have to watch the third, but I was interested by then.
It's like short enough to do bite size. Yeah, they're about anywhere from 30 some minutes to maybe, I think the last one was like a little bit less than an hour, shy of an hour. So, it's really not going to take up a lot of time, which is good. I mean, I do like that. And it's only 10 episodes for the first season, which again, that's all you need. I remember when shows used to be 22, 24. I mean, I Love Lucy was like 30 some episodes, but they were all good. I mean, back then, and there's some of them are still good. They're timeless, but you can't really do that anymore.
But that's repetitive, and it's only half hour long, which is what TV with commercials. It comes out to 18 minutes?
Yeah, but commercials weren't. I mean, now it's 22 minutes. I think it used to be 28, 27, somewhere around there. So you really had to fill a lot of. It had to be good too. Yeah.
Right. Tell me why you related these two, because I don't get it.
So the movie is Horror Hotel, which is also known as City of the Dead. And the reason I related, do you remember when Matthew Rhys's character's son was watching a movie with his, I guess, the girl from Boston? They were sitting on the couch and they were watching a movie, and that face came out. It looked like it was just this creepy black and white movie they were watching. I remember
them watching a black and white.
That was it. That was Horror Hotel. And I said, okay, well.
That's the connection.
That's the connection. And
did you know they were watching Horror Hotel, or did you?
I did not know what the movie was. Okay. I had to look it up. So because I was kind of curious. I'm like, boy, that scene looked creepy.
I have to flick you.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
So, we watched the movie, and when I looked into it, I thought, and when we did watch it, I think it was kind of an inspiration for Widow's Bay.
I could see somewhat. I mean,
which is an odd film to like pull out. I mean, they had to put that in there for a reason. It's not like they just pick a random horror movie, because the town is cursed. in Horror Hotel.
Well, I mean, is it really cursed?
It is, because the witch at the beginning, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you here.
We can spoil her.
We can spoil a 1960 film, yeah. So, but at the beginning, a witch is burned at the stake, and she curses the town. So no one can leave.
She does, but at the same time, I mean, it's about a witch. It's not about like necessarily the.
I get that, but it's still about a curse. There's fog in it, which there's
fog
in Widow's Bay.
Lots of fog in City of the Dead.
Right. And the townspeople they're not funny quirky, but they are quirky because it is straight horror. Although it's 1960 horror, so
yeah, I wouldn't really go that it was like terrifying.
Oh, it's not terrifying, no, but it's an odd movie.
It's very odd.
And you know what it reminded me of was, with the opening shots were almost like they were done in 3D, because the people stick their face in the camera and that torch they move towards the camera.
It reminded me of the TV show Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it had
a very Twilight Zone feel.
It did,
because the main the main actress was normal-ish.
She was normal, and she goes to this small town. Right. Something Christopher Lee, who is dynamite and everything, but I truly did not really enjoy him in this. And I don't know if it was just because I didn't really like the movie, or I needed to see more of him. I kind of felt like he was not used to his potential. It was more like a cursory kind of, well, here Christopher Lee's in it to sell the movie. That might have been it. Well, I brought up to you, and I replayed the scene where he has a bit of dialogue, and he says superstition, fear, and jealousy. And I said, do you know where that came from?
And I did not know.
Yep. And it's the opening to Rob Zombie's Dracula song, which, I hear weird things like that.
And you got to wonder why Rob Zombie picked that line out of a
very
obscure horror movie. Like, I could see the horror movie stuff because that's Rob Zombie, but a horror movie, like, my family were big. My mother is a huge Christopher Lee fan. I knew all Christopher Lee and Frank Langella and the other guy. I can't think of his name right now. What's the other guy's name?
In terms of a vampire?
The old three guys that were always in old.
Well, not Frank Langella wasn't one of those.
He was Dracula.
He was Dracula, but he wasn't one of the. You're thinking Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing.
No, the other guy. I'll think of it.
Okay.
It might have been Peter Cushing, but I watched a lot of those movies. So, Christopher Lee was someone my mother always talked about. And it's just, I think, like you said, it was probably, they put him in it just to sell the movie. But the story I thought was pretty interesting, because I do like the witchcraft stuff. Again, in New England, burning the witches. I've been to Salem. So that aspect of burning witches was interesting. But I think the movie went to the fact that they were real witches, and the history is that they weren't. So that was a little different for me.
Here's the weird thing I thought about it too, is that, so this was made in 1960, and again, spoiler alert, but again, it's,
how many years? 1960 movie.
So the lead female who goes to the town, like in Psycho, again, spoiler alert, she's out of the picture.
Yes,
pretty early, but I mean, it's really like halfway through the film.
Halfway through the movie.
Yeah,
the main character's dead.
Yeah, so that really surprised me. No, you didn't see her die,
but I mean, you saw the knife, but you didn't see her die. But so I'm thinking, did they kill her? They couldn't have. Not in 1960. They wouldn't have done that,
right.
Especially a B movie in 1960. I did like that part, and I did like the woman who played the witch.
She was good.
I don't know who the actress is, but I did enjoy her. I thought she was good.
Patricia Jessup, maybe. I think it's her name. I believe so. I'd have to look that up.
But another thing that really bothered me in this movie was the phrasing and the intonation of some of the characters. Like the boyfriend, he would talk like this, and it was really, really annoying. But another character did the same thing, and I don't know if that was something that they were told to do. But
I mean, the acting back then is very,
I mean, I've seen a lot of movies from back then. They didn't all do that.
Right, they had that weird intonation.
Yeah, he was annoying as anything. That actor was
right. The boyfriend was annoying. So the brother was a little annoying.
The brother was really annoying. He was such an uppity bastard. I couldn't stand it.
The movie was written by, and this is one of the things I wanted to share with you, because you may not know the name, but once I get into it, you'll know who it is. So it was written by Milton Subotsky.
Milton Subotsky.
I pointed him out in the credits, remember?
No, yeah, you did point him out in the credits, but I do not know him, Milton Subotsky.
So he was the co-founder of Amicus Films, which Amicus created all of the films like House That Dripped Blood.
I remember,
and Torture Garden, and Torture Garden. We saw that as well, but they are the what's the word? Like Creep Show was. It was the anthology film. So they did a lot of anthology films back then.
And you do love your good
I especially the British ones. Man, I am a sucker. You give me, when my friend told me this was oh God, 20 some years ago. He was like, hey, have you ever seen The House of Drip Blood? No. And it was only on, I think, Turner Classic Movies or AMC at 3 a.m. And I stayed up to watch it because that was the only way I could see it at that point.
But don't you think the reason why you like anthology films so much is that you have a very short attention span?
I like shorter film because you could tell a really good story. And you know, it's not even that because I don't want to get into like the length of movies because movies now are too long.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have a story to support that. It's more of the narcissism of the director or whoever the studios, whoever's. A lot of times it's the director, but yeah, I do like anthologies because I do like short stories, especially if they're very well done.
But they have to be very well done.
Yeah, and I mean these are fun. It's not like that. They based on some of the old EC comics and like Vault of Horror, things way back in the 50s, and like Tales from the Crypt did, which is another. Tales from the Crypt was actually another Amicus production, I believe.
Do you remember when we were watching this? What my biggest pet peeve was in the whole movie? What annoyed me the most, if you remember when we were watching?
I can't remember
the girl's name.
Oh, right.
So, like, if you're writing a story and you can create any name in the world, why would you pick the name Nan?
Nan.
Because
back then.
But it didn't flow, and it doesn't have any. Like when you're listening, your ear's not going to catch up the word Nan. Like, it was just a terrible.
Maybe that's why they killed her halfway through the movie. Like,
well,
we're getting really tired. You know what? You were right.
Let's kill Nan. Nan's not. Nan's useless.
But Milton Subotsky, his last movie that he produced, and when I saw the fog roll in this film was, and I know you do love it, The Monster Club.
Oh, that's a good movie.
See, that's another anthology.
But that's also, wasn't Christopher Lee in that?
No, it was Vincent Price was in that. Christopher Lee was not in The Monster Club.
And the other old guy.
Donald Pleasance was in that.
Yes, okay.
Yes. But yeah, remember that one where the guy goes to scout a location and it's called Louisville, and there's that fog in the town the whole time. There's the creepy, basically they're all ghouls. It's an anagram for Ghoulville, but it's called Louisville. The fog reminded me of that in this film. I was like, oh, it's like they're living in Louisville.
I didn't like the name either.
What, Horror Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Horror Hotel didn't fit. City of the Dead fits a little bit better.
City of the Dead is,
but still, it's not really a great.
Neither title really captures.
But I think back then it's like what grabs people.
Well, I read that Horror Hotel was the American name because of course we have to change names of everything. But Horror Hotel, it was an inn. It's not a hotel. Just say, I mean, I know it's the same.
Horror
thing.
Inn doesn't really have the same ring.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't have been. You shouldn't have focused on that. That building was not necessarily the. I mean, it was the prime setting for the sacrifice, but it wasn't like things were jumping out at her and things in that hotel.
That's true.
So I just didn't like the name. I didn't think it reflected the movie at all.
It didn't, right? But it's like I said. Sometimes I like watching some of these old goofy movies. And again, that one I chose for a reason. I probably wouldn't have watched it other than the fact the connection it had with Widow's Bay.
I would have never thought to figure out what movie the character.
I always do. I like to see like, well, maybe they probably did get their inspiration from this, albeit loosely. Certain things.
I mean, it was New England,
and somebody had to have seen that movie, so to put it in there.
Horror Hotel was not necessarily an island.
No, it wasn't an island. It
was an area, but not an island.
And so, a Horror Hotel. The final bit of trivia, which I liked about it. So it was directed by John Llewellyn Moxey. We've actually seen. I know one movie you've seen with me. This was, well, you probably don't remember it. I had to look it up to jog my memory. Home for the Holidays, which was a made-for-TV movie about Sally Fields in it. I think Jessica Walter, where these 4 daughters, they come home and their dad dies. There's a killer. They think that his wife is poisoning him or poisoned him. I vaguely remember it, right? Because it wasn't. I mean, it had really not to do with him. It just wasn't a great story. But he also did the movie The Night Stalker, and that was great. I love anything Kolchak. So, but yeah, it was. I just thought that was kind of interesting too.
It wasn't the worst movie you've shown me, but it wasn't definitely one that I'm going to be like, oh, I remember. Now I'm going to remember watching it because of the name. The name irritated me. Nan irritated me, but I did like the storyline. I do like stuff about Salem and the witches and witchcraft and all that stuff. But being someone who studied that a little bit and know the real story, it kind of, the feminist I am, kind of pisses me off that they made her a real witch.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
I do. I like, because she didn't have to be a witch to come back and be pissed off and curse the town. she didn't have to consort with the devil.
But I mean, she was a regular human. They don't usually come back. They had to have some kind of supernatural reason.
Well, I don't know.
To do that. I mean,
maybe she could have met the devil after that.
Yeah, right. I'm on my way down to hell. Look at that. There's the devil. How you doing? Okay, you know what? We're going to curse. But she already said she was going to curse the town. So
but if she cursed the town, why did all those people, why were they all witches too? Like what happened?
That I have no idea.
They didn't tie in, like Christopher Lee had no reason to be a witch or to be in the devil's cult or the satanic cult or whatever you want to call it.
Well, he was
he lived there.
Child or no, he was like lineage of some kind.
Yeah, but she was the only.
Right. I don't know why that. Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. No. But again, it's not there to make sense. It's probably, that's probably a movie they showed at the drive-in and, everyone's like, oh, horror hotel. And, but it is what it is. It's cheesy.
I know, but my 2026 brain wants to know why things are happening.
I agree. So
it's hard to go back to movies sometimes.
All right, so we'll do it on rewatchability. I'm going to say I would not rewatch Horror Hotel, aka City of the Dead.
No, I would not rewatch it.
No, but should you watch it? If you have nothing else, it's only an hour and 18 minutes.
Right, you did tell me let's watch this movie. It's only an hour and 18 minutes,
right. Which was extended because it was on Tubi, so it had ads.
We had commercials,
but I believe it's on AMC Plus. So if you have that, you can watch it on there. Widow's Bay. I would not rewatch the first season if it was on.
It's not rewatch, but it is something I would recommend watching. Yeah. And I am going to be pleased when the second season comes out. And I'm going to be wanting to watch it. It's not going to be like, oh, it came out today, we got to watch it today.
No, I would probably do like we did the first season, was maybe binge watch
things come out and then And it's not going to be what do you call the ones? Water cooler?
A water cooler show, yeah.
It's not going to be a water cooler show.
Nothing really is anymore.
Apple TV has a lot of them. That one with
I never hear.
Yeah, because you don't go to water coolers anymore.
The water coolers don't really exist.
The one with Jennifer Aniston. That was a really huge hit.
About the morning show?
The morning show.
I think there's niche audiences now where, a lot of people, you have to have like every streaming service to see everything, which, you can only kind of pick and choose, I guess, at certain times. Like, hey, we'll get Apple this month. We'll do, and that's maybe do a revolving thing so we catch up on all of these shows because we do have a couple.
I do want to see the morning show, though. And this one I do want to see. Although another show people talked about was The White Lotus, and that did not.
I did not like The White Lotus at all. No, that first season was just not. I
might try the second season just to see if it gets better.
I'm done.
Parker Posey.
Yeah, I like Parker, but I'm done. So
anyway.
Okay, well, so we're gonna have to come up with something again. We're trying to do a little bit of big screen, a little bit of small screen. So maybe you'll be back next week. Maybe
I think we need to do a comedy.
We do need to do a comedy. We'll find something.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid because you find them and they're always like weird.
Well, sometimes you like them though.
I do enjoy them sometimes, but you're more obscure sometimes, your movies.
I know a perfect one we can do.
Oh, shit.
All right. So, we will do that soon. Well, thank you for being here again.
You're welcome. I'll come anytime. All the way downstairs.
That wraps up another episode, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and download new episodes every Saturday on your favorite podcast platform. For Scenes from the Screen, I'm Sean, and thanks for listening.